cameo going, oh, Andy, make this shout out. But
Yeah.
he was quite
But
smart. But then, I don't know. Maybe I need to find out who represents Jared in the music industry.
Yeah.
Who's his...
Yeah.
And
yeah, or maybe the label or something. I would, or the publicist. I don't. This is where I'm not. I don't know the kind of fine print of that. But I would say if they are serious about using you as a face of their festival, then they need to compensate you and let them know, like, you need to be much more part of it than you are.
Right.
So so yeah, I would keep reaching out and yeah, I'm so sorry that happened.
Listen, I take it as it's a huge compliment, and I chuckle about it. But
I know.
That's the funny thing. Literally, one last story, you'd die. So someone reached out to me recently, and they'll probably listen to the podcast, and I can't help. But and they said, "Oh, Andy, we've written a play about fire, and we're doing a play reading, and it's such and such a date." And
this is so funny.
Will you attend the play reading via Zoom? And I'm like, fine, sure, And then they said, oh, it's next Friday night at 6:00. I'm like, okay, it's a little presumptuous that you think that I have nothing better to do on a Friday night at 6:00 than to tune in to a play reading for an hour and 40 minutes. They want me to sit there. Okay, so I'm like, all right.
Wait, first of all, how long is the Netflix documentary? Is that about how long it is? Because I mean,
maybe less. I don't. Yeah. I'm like an hour and 40 minutes. So I'm like, okay. So Craig pours me a drink. Sit at the kitchen table. It's 6:00. Meanwhile, we have a reservation at my favorite little Italian restaurant. Totally COVID friendly. There we are in Florida. It's like, COVID trap. No one wears a mask. No one cares. But the places where I would go, which was very rare, we probably saw 10 people in 4 months, but there was a couple little restaurants that we would go to, and we'd sit outside and blah, 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 blah. And they obviously know who I am and love me. And so I said, all right, we have to leave at 7:05 to go out to dinner. He's like, I got it. Okay, fine. So I said, can you help me though? Can you make sure I'm muted so that they can't hear what I'm saying or whatever? And the play reading starts, and there's a girl reading and another girl reading, and there's supposed to be models attending fire, and obviously they're supposed to be like the influencers, like, oh, Melanie, can you believe your tent? And she's like smoking. Oh, I hate this tent. I'm like, oh God, are you kidding me? And then the other girl, well, Rachel, did you try the cheese sandwich? I'm like, you wrote a fucking play? Like, this is garbage. What is going on?
By the way, the documentary is 97 minutes.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So it's longer.
Oh, longer.
So the play was longer.
So long story short, it's just, they go on and on and on and on. And I'm like, I don't even know what to do. It was, and they didn't look like they were 20 years old. They were like 30. Like, I think that they would know better. So at 7:05, I say to Craig, I have to hang up. I've been on for an hour and 5 minutes. This isn't going anywhere. It's not really great. But what do you think Andy King does? Of course, I immediately send a quick text to the director. I'm like, you guys are hitting it out of the park. Well done. Like, you're just, because I do love the fact that they were trying to be inspirational, and they were trying to be, obviously not to the level of you and I, what we're trying to do with lives, but they were at least being creative, and they're not being malicious, but it was not great. And I just said, keep doing what you're doing, and wishing you all the best. I get an email that night. I get back from the restaurant. Wow. Like, wow, exclamation point. I can't believe you dropped off early. Period. We were really hoping that you would help run the question and answer session at the end. Oh, so you thought I'd be on the phone on this computer for 3 hours? Like, on a Friday night? Do I look like a loser? I look like I have nothing going on in my life? I am here to support the world, but there is a happy medium here. And it just said, well, okay, I understand that you had to go to dinner. Just a bit disappointing. New paragraph. But you obviously made a lot of money with fire. Well, Joe, in case you don't read, I wasn't paid anything for the fucking documentary, and I worked for a year and a half to pay back everybody in the Bahamas. And by the way, I lost $1,200,000 on the festival itself, personally. So no, I didn't make any money. So he writes me, I know you made a lot of money with Fire, and so you know how difficult it's been with COVID for actors and musicians. So I'm hoping that you would be generous.
You spare some of your time.
My money. No, they wanted me to finance this thing. And like back the play. I'm like, I have backed a few plays in my time for a lot of money. But then I was making a lot of money. And no, I didn't make any money. And how presumptuous of it for you to say, geez, you know, you wrote me.
I mean, the fact that they didn't even ask you about the questionnaire and they just assumed that you would just be hanging on to their every word.
And I'm like, oh my word. First Jared Leto and now this gang. Everybody's just something. And I've had two or three other people working on potential music festivals who I have spent hours with conference calls with. And then at the end they'll say, of like one call, oh Andy, we've had a lawyer working on contracts for vendors and stuff like that. The bill's like $14,000. Would you cover that for us for now? And we'll try to work something out later. I'm like, let me explain something to you. The last offer I got to host a music festival was for $1.8 million, and that's paid in cash. Yeah, and I get a third, a third, and a third. You want to use my name, and by the way, as you know, when I make an announcement in the media, it trends highly for a couple of days, and so that's worth something. And no, I can't give people money right now. And then, oh, how disappointing. Like, wow, you guys, really?
People want so much of you, and people are desperate for something to grab onto, especially now. And it's just so disappointing that in a time where people are looking for positivity and looking for positive influence and good natured people, it ends up being a very selfish act anyway.
Well, Carter,
you know what I'm saying?
Hate to break it to you, but as you're going into your transmasculine world, you're so positive and you're so cute and you're so great. They're going to be coming after you too. You're going to go, sorry, Jake, but no, I'm not writing you a check for $25,000 to help with your journey. But I will
for your play.
But I will inspire you the best I can.
Yes, and that's what we're here for.
Yes. So thank you, Carter, for being so inspiring.
I'm so happy that we got to chat and connect, and I'm really hoping that if people have any questions that don't elicit money demands, they can reach out to either of us about or at least me, about my queer experience and privately or whatever.
What's the best way to connect with you?
I would say Instagram, which is Carter K Howe. That's CarterKhowe, or my website or my email, which is carterkhowe@gmail.com. So yeah, and I want to help people with their journeys, and if they have any questions, or I can't promise that I have all the answers, but I feel really lucky to be in a position where I'm physically and mentally in a space that feels much better to me.
I love it.
And I just really appreciate you bringing me on the show, and I'm very excited for the springtime and vaccinations.
Cool. Me too. Carter, keep smiling and keep inspiring everybody. And we will connect again very soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right, my dear. Ciao for now. And do me one big favor though. You got to keep me posted on all the cool things that you're doing. I don't want to miss out on anything.
Thanks.
Yeah. Because going from the cool chick skateboarder to now the cool
sneaker wear.
The cool sneaker wearer. I think that's that'll be a good, I mean, because just saying like the transmasculine thing, kind of boring, right? So I think you can bring a whole new edge to it. The cool sneaker wearer. There he is, Carter Howe, for sure.
Thanks.
All right, Carter, talk soon.
Talk to you soon.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
To connect with Andy King, just follow him on Instagram @RealAndyKing and check back for another episode coming soon.